Hello! We're gonna be tier listing Twisted Wonderland events. These are not sorted by chronological order because I didn't make the template again. There is the JP only section, but the only one I found that hasn't happened in EN yet is the 5th anniversary with the Blaze Jewel fit, which in my opinion from fit alone would go up here. It's a pretty cool fit. But because I haven't gone to actually do the event yet, it's gonna stay there for now. The other thing before we get into it, I'm gonna cap myself at 2 events for S rank. I feel like A, there's not enough events to justify so many being up there, and B, I also just kind of want to determine mentally which one is actually my favorite. So we're gonna cap myself at 2 events at S rank. But to start, at the top of this, there are the anniversary events. I'm blocking the 4th one, I know. But these are all I feel like gonna be solid B tiers. Though I will say, just because of this Grimm's fit, this one does go above 2. I feel like these events they're cute, and it's more of Grimm, which we always love that, especially, you know, once you get further in the story. But I feel like these are great baselines as well, because there's short events like these, and there's wholesome moments, and I feel like these are just a good base. Fairy Gala Part 1. Or not Part 1, but Variation 1. I actually don't know the wording for this. But this is the one where Leona was the center, and there are 2 things I remember about this event. A, that Leona's card was beautiful as fuck, and is one of the cards I regret not having. And B, that there were some fucking simp fairies in this event for Leona, and all he was doing was walking. I did not record and post either of these, I don't think. I think those were just for me. I don't remember what the first event I recorded and posted was, but for this event, it was very pretty, but that's kind of all it really felt for me for this part specifically, was that this one was pretty and had some funny moments in it. That was really it for me. It is, I think this might actually be B tier, but above the anniversaries. I definitely liked it more than the anniversaries, and I know the Leona fans are gonna come for me, but like that's my take. Sorry. For part 2 though, this one is going to be A tier. It's not going to be the top of A tier for sure, definitely not by the end of this list, but it's going to be up there for me. The reason is, yes, it's kind of the same thing again, which I will admit did disappoint me when I first started the event. I was like, oh, it's literally the exact same plot line, but then you sort of get into it, and I actually really like this one more than the first one, because each character felt like they were a part of it. With this one, the first one, Leona just felt like he was there. He was there to be pretty, and that was it. But for this one, everyone kind of played a role. Okay, I will say kind of minus Jack, but Jack helped with the prep work, not really the day of, which is fine. But I don't know, I just felt like this one was just better. I really like the way they had the gem be taken back. For those who don't know, both of these are basically a queen fairy shows up, different than Malleus's mom. We'll get to that Malleus later, probably some point, I don't know. But different fairy queen shows up, and she takes a very important gem that kind of controls the weather conditions of the school, and then the school is thrown into chaos because in some places it's blazing hot where it shouldn't be, and then in other cases it's freezing cold where it shouldn't be. And we have to steal the gem back without disrupting the Fairy Gala, which is the event that they stole it for, because it is super important for that culture, and you can't be disrespectful to another culture, so you have to steal it back without them knowing. For this one, I like the method that they used better, rather than it just being a distraction and swap, which is fine, but that's basic, you know? These guys, they did a whole magic show, but this one, I just liked everything about this event better, and that's why it's sitting up here above this one. Now we have Ghost Bride. This one is above Fairy Gala for me, but it's not S tier. Come on. Thank you. This one was hilarious. There were so many cards. There were like, what, 6? Something I never understood about this event is why Lilia got one, even though he didn't actually get to wear the fit. He still got one though. I don't know why. Maybe they were a character short. But this one, it was funny. And I don't know, it really felt like the whole school got pulled in for that one, which, like, I don't really think has happened for an event since. But Ghost Bride was just such a funny little adventure for me. I truly enjoyed that one. Apple got his prince and princess moment. Riddle's groovy art for this one is actually so fire in the literal and figurative sense. And then I have read the story, the card story for Aces. Don't have the card. The community's awesome. Everything's posted on YouTube. You can watch all of the card stories, even if you didn't get them. You just won't get the gems for it. Really funny how we actually got to know more about Ace in that card story. I haven't read all of the card stories, admittedly, but that's a different thing. And it was just a fun event. I also liked, and she was in the side characters tier list. I really liked Eliza. Eliza was funny. I loved her. I loved her so much, bro. She was so full of life and hilarious. Dude, this was a great event. I actually kind of miss it. Next up is the Noble College one. This one had me in like a chokehold. The outfits, the story, it was all amazing. To the point where I think this is gonna be my first S tier. Now keep in mind, it might not stay there, but I do think that is up there for me, because this event had me in a chokehold. The cards, I wanted all of them. I don't have all of them, but I think I'm only missing Azul. I have Idia and Malleus. It was just, the story was amazing. It felt the right amount of fun and serious. Like, there were some pretty high stakes in this story. Like, if they fucked up, magic would no longer exist in Twisted Wonderland, which isn't really a problem for the prefect, but considering how much technology relies on magic in this world, it would cause some problems that Rollo did not consider. Speaking of Rollo, what a very fun take on Frollo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I haven't watched that movie in a while. Frollo, the movie character, not the game variant. Frollo was a scumbag, but Rollo, yeah, he's still kind of a dick, but like, he's not like a creepy person, you know? Like, he was doing all of that because magic killed, I guess spoilers, but magic killed his brother, and he wanted to like erase magic so it wouldn't happen again. So like, you couldn't say that his standpoint didn't have some justification behind it. And it was just a beautiful event, especially since at that time it was about when this first dropped in EN. I'm pretty sure that's when book 6 had like just finished. So everyone was fresh off of Idia's character arc, which was very similar, where Blot killed his brother. I guess spoilers again, but if you're not done with book 6 at this point, that's kind of on you. So this event, the timing was perfect, the story was perfect, the artwork, the cards, the backgrounds were perfect. The song, this was the first time that we got confirmation they were going to do other songs for the game, Make-A-Wish. Please don't watch the fan music video I made for that one. I do plan on redoing that eventually because it's that bad. And it just started the cascade of songs with the Halloween events, which I know for this upcoming new one this year, it's going to be Christmas instead of Halloween, which is fine. I'm game. It's still a Nightmare Before Christmas, so it's like it's tied in close enough. And it was also just the start of side characters getting models, minus Neige and Chenya. You know, I don't know. I don't know why I don't consider them side characters in this context, but I don't. This was the start for a lot of things. I also could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure this was the first event with the mission board, instead of like having to do a whole bunch of Twisted Tunes over and 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 over again for all of the event rewards, which I just never had time for. But this was such an incredible event through and through, and I do feel like out of one event I would want to go back to, do it again blind, it would be this event. This event was just perfect for me. And if you're like, damn, I can't get Twisted Wonderland, I really want to see this event, I did stream the entirety of this event. So you can go ahead and watch those VODs. I've been meaning to make a thumbnail for this one and just go back to all of those old VODs and put a thumbnail in there, because I haven't done that. But yeah, this event, it's S tier for me. And talking about it now, I don't think it's going to change from that spot. I don't know if it's going to be number 1. That's a deliberation for later. Next up is Beanfest Part 1. This one is a tough call, in all honesty. It's a tough call. Because this event was the very first event that wasn't story celebration or birthday, I believe. But this one, it was very fun. It was light and fresh, and it was just really the guys having fun. And honestly, playing this event, I was like, why don't more schools do this? Why don't more schools have their kids doing like a fucking Nerf gun shootout? I mean, obviously no school that I would have gone to would have had the budget for that, but this event, it was just extremely fun. The prefect was in it, which prefects in most of these. Emphasis on most, they're not in all of them. And it was the start of like knowing that you're gonna get characters in different outfits, which this game kind of has to do. But yeah, it was such a fun event. I just don't know whether to put it at top of B or minus of lower. We're gonna put lower A. I don't think it trumps Fairy Gala 2 for me. It trumps Fairy Gala 1, but it's not a B tier for me. I will say though, part 2, this one is kind of a top of B for me. There's some fun moments in this one, make no mistake, but the majority of this event is sort of a rerun of the first one, and that's like with some other moments that you don't see in here. Like, the most memorable thing about this event for me was how Jamil's plan with the shawarma went down, which is mentioned in the anthology comics, I believe, and Floyd's whole thing of chasing Jamil until the timer ran out. That's really all I remember from this event. Otherwise, it was the exact same thing as this one, which with these, and they're sort of in a funky shape here, but with these sorts of events, it does run the risk of how much can you repeat the event before it's just the same one again. And while I do think Fairy Gala did a good job of distinguishing the two, I don't think Beanfest was successful in that as much. And actually, because of that, I am going to move Fairy Gala up from this one. Next on this list is Apple Palm. Oh, I loved this one. Ooh, I loved this one. I don't know where I'm gonna put it. Oh no. This one was so adorable. Where do I put you? I'm gonna say top of A. First of all of their outfits are cute and also very unique to their characters, and they're just so cozy. This Apple card is another one I do regret not having. Like, I need this banner to rerun again. Apple, please. The idea of it was such a cute event. We got to see Apple's grandmother. She did get a character model. She's adorable too. Did I put her in the side characters tier list? Oh my god, I didn't put her in the side characters list. Oh no. Dude, I loved her. She was funny. She was basically an older version of Apple, and I do love that for her. She was so feisty, very blunt, and she was just a joy to have in this event. She was a very good tying character to keep the event grounded. She was wonderful. Thing is about these hometown events is, like, I know it's never gonna happen, but I always want a second round. I always want a second round, but I know it's never gonna happen. But this event, it's a solid event. I fucking love it. And everything about this was just wonderful. It wasn't like experience changing for me like the Noble College one was, which is why it's sitting at A tier. Next one is the Rapunzel event. Ooh, what a debate this one's gonna be. I don't know if see, this one, I would stack it with the Apple Palm together if I could, because I feel like they both have their own shortcomings. I actually can't think of any shortcomings for Apple Palm, but the thing is, the only shortcoming I can think of for this one is that it felt so short. Like, I wanted more. Like, the pacing of the story was perfect. It was just so short. I think I have to go kind of purely from story premise here. And these cards are beautiful. God, I love these cards to pieces. I have the whole set. You don't know how much that makes my heart happy, having the entire Rapunzel event set. I do think the background art for this one does beat Apple Palm, but the length of Apple Palm story kind of carries it back to even ground. So, like, again, these events are such give and take for me that the really only thing I can go by is story premise. Both of them are lighthearted and fun, but I do prefer the story premise of the Apple Palm event over the Rapunzel. Yeah, the event story for this premise, the start felt kind of cheesy, but the end felt so good. But for this one, it felt good all around. Like, start to finish, I enjoyed this event. This one, I was, like, laughing to myself a little bit in, like, the lol, this is kind of cringe way at the start. So I do think that makes Apple Palm, for me, slightly better than this one, despite all of the joy this event gave me, which is why it's sitting at the top of A tier. And the next event is the Stitch event. Oh, this event. I will say, this event was also really fun. Hawaiian outfits was certainly something I never thought we'd see these boys in, that's for sure. Gosh, I love all these designs. The group of people was also an excellent choice. I do feel a little bit bad for Jack, because at least Lilia kind of has his own person to get along with. Jack low-key only had Ace, and even then, Ace is kind of a dick. So, besides the prefect, Mance was kind of on his own. I will say this event had the map grinding thing. So what I mean by that is, and I don't think I show it very well in the videos I made for this event, because I did record and edit this one too, but what I mean by that is one of the books is just a map, and there's some story points there, but you have to do battles and earn a certain amount of materials just to continue the story. The reason why I have a problem with that, and it's not even really that big of a problem, it's just a minor, like, inconvenience sort of thing, but the reason I feel that way is because some of the events you literally just have to turn on lessons and move on with your day. So, and lessons are not a thing you actively do. Like, let's be real here. I don't think a single person in the TWST fandom, the moment they discovered the auto button for lessons, does it by hand, because let's be realistic, that's just unreasonable. That's just like, if you're gonna sit there for like 20 minutes just tapping, like, it's not a combat scene. Combat I get doing by hand, especially when the auto does not play the game right. For lessons, it just does not make any sense to do it. So when you have to actively do that sort of thing just to unlock the story, especially when the battle phases don't have a story attached to it, or the ones you need to grind to move on, it just feels a little less for me. But I still think this event was a very solid A tier. The story was fun. Grim getting kidnapped was something I never thought would happen, and just the whole premise was really cool. I think it beats... Sorry, I'm looking at here again, and I kind of want to flip these two. Yeah, I'm gonna flip them. But also at the same time, I'm gonna put Stitch like... Oh, let me get up. Right above it. Not above Rapunzel. Absolutely not above Rapunzel. I think these two are probably going to be my top 2 A tier for the whole video. I'm going to be so honest. But Stitch was very up there. I think it does beat almost all of the earlier events and anniversaries. I think that's a fair statement. Portfest. I did edit this one, and I actually wasn't that big of a fan of it. It was cute, it was fun, but I was more interested in what everybody else was doing rather than the 4 the event was about. And I feel like that's a sign you were probably focusing on the wrong thing. And also the Twisted tune for this one. The song was cool. The sound effects were god-awful. I remember. They were not very pleasant to listen to. And I did notice in recent events, they kind of stopped making unique sound effects. That makes me sad. I just think they needed to, like, switch up how they choose what the sound effects were and make sure that it sounds nice. But for this one, it was like you were banging on cans and stuff, which can turn into good music. But with the way the Twisted tune was structured, it just didn't turn out that way. So there's a lot more of cons to this one than pros. Like, the outfits were cute. It was a nice story. But Twisted tune sound effects were god-awful. And I cared more about, like, what the stalls were doing than the actual focus center, which was the musical number by these 4. That's a C. That's a C. And it kind of hurts because I love Twist, but that was a C for me. I was just so much more interested in what the stalls were doing. And I think we covered all of them, but I felt like if it had been about, you know, because it was by classes, so that means, like, the grades were mixing. which is something that doesn't super happen often in terms of school events for this story. Because typically it's either every man for themselves. No, that's really it. It's just every man for themselves every time a school event comes around. So for this one to have them in teams, and then to not focus on said teams, which were very, very interesting, was just like such a huge disappointment for me. So yeah, this one's my, it's not even B tier, it's C tier for me. But White Rabbits, oh White Rabbit, you are joyful for me. And now I'm in the debate once again of, is it better than this event? Speaking of these two events, notice how Epple is in both. And something I said here is that Epple, like, was very good hometown, or I didn't say it, but what he did in this event was he was a very good hometown tour guide. Like, he knew the place like the back of his hand, the culture, everything. He was able to give his friends a very good introduction to this place. And yes, this event did happen first. You know, because I didn't record it. And I recorded and edited this one, which that theme does come up of Deuce, the opposite end, where he doesn't know a lot about his hometown, because it ties into his delinquent past of, you know, like him not really caring all that much and just kind of fucking the place up. First of all, that ties into the event, which I think was really smart. To outright ignore it would have been stupid. It matter with him knowing so little because he was off doing his own thing and not paying attention to the culture taught in schools and stuff because he was skipping. And for the past to catch up to him, especially in his card story, that it comes up more there. I think this event did a really good job on highlighting the way Deuce needs to improve, but also has improved at the same time. And all of the outfits were adorable. I think the only reason I didn't draw fan art of this event, I drew Silver, but the only reason I didn't draw the rest of them was because they were so complicated. And that's a common thing with Twist. A lot of these outfits have little intricate designs that I don't feel like doing. But this event, all in all, was really fun. It was a Twisted Tune event. I don't think there was a single combat stage. It was a mission board, but I think at some point they switched from doing the Twisted Tune a whole bunch of times to the mission board. I don't fully remember the first time that happened. And this event, honestly, I can't think of a single thing that was wrong. Also, Deuce's mom, who I did put in the tier list, or the side character ranking. Very cool character. I loved her. What a great representation of the middle class single mom. As someone who was raised by a single mother, it was awesome to see her. And this whole event and their relationship, Deuce and his mom's relationship, which I'm pretty sure her name was Dilla or something, it was beautiful. I loved it. It was so wholesome. And something I noticed is that Dilla kind of has blonde streaks in her hair. And in book 7, Deuce used to have blonde hair. So I like to think that sort of suggests that even when he was being a delinquent, it showed that she was choosing to support him in all stages of his life. Because the reason he went to Night Raven and tried to like straighten out is because he saw his mom crying about the way he turned out. But the blonde streaks tells me that even though she wasn't like the most proud of it, she still wanted Deuce to feel like he wasn't alone in the world. And I just think that the subtle way of doing that just through her hair was wholesome. This event, every time I start talking about a pinpoint of this event, it's praise. I can't think of a single thing that was wrong with this event. Like, the backgrounds sometimes were a little dizzying, but like, it's Wonderland based, Alice in Wonderland based, so like, it's gonna be a little doozying, but it did it perfectly. Like, everything about this event was awesome. Is it an S tier? I don't think so, but it is definitely the top of A tier. And I know what I said like 2 minutes ago about these two, but you know me, I gotta talk through something first. And talking through this one, it was just an absolute joy. Woo, we're on New Year's now. Okay, what a fun little interjection. But these events were honestly fun. I will be judging them individually though. This one, I'm gonna say, is above the anniversaries, but below Beanfest. It's not that this event was bad. This event was the start of the series. It's the very first one. First of all, these outfits were amazing. All of the New Year's outfits are going to be amazing, by the way. They're all awesome. But it was really just Deuce and Kaleem running into store problems, which, you know, I'm sure for those who work in retail, very much appreciated this event. The job I'm working right now is not retail, so I had a little harder time feeling for it. It was a fun event, don't get me wrong. I loved it. It was very cute. I I feel like the other events and the other New Year's events hold a better candle than the first one does. Speaking of this one, ooh, you know, I was really locked in for this one, and I don't remember what the game was because they had to do a game. I think it was something similar to like, oh fuck, what is it called? Kind of like badminton, I think, but like a Asian variation of it, or maybe an original variation. In Europe is the variation, dude, I don't know. But it was something like that, like they were hitting something and they had to keep it off of the floor, I think. And that was fun. It was a competition, you know, seeing them strategize. And it was cute, for sure. I just don't know where to put it. I think top of B is a fair spot for this one. Yeah. Now we got the year after. Oh no, what was this one? Oh no! Was this? No, this one wasn't the badminton thing. What was their game? Because all of the years after 2022, they had a game to like promote the store. And people needed to win against the store clerks, which are the events in which are the characters in the pretty outfits, to get like a free mystery bag or something. And they obviously had to buy a certain number of items to be able to play. So, you know, it's a way to get money, which good for Sam, honestly. Which is another thing about these events. I love seeing more of Sam. Sam doesn't get enough in the story. I don't even remember what the game was for this one. That or I confused it with 2023's. You know? Ooh. These cards are gorgeous, though. I think it's gonna go below 2022 for me. The New Year's here. Actually, I don't remember much about this event at all. I'm gonna put it below the anniversaries. And I know that's gonna be potentially insane for some people, but I just don't remember anything about it. Granted, these never get rerun. Like, if you miss it, you're fucked. I'm sorry. But I just don't remember anything about this. This one I do remember. This one was kites. And I really liked Jack and Malleus's fit for this one. I liked all of them. Floyd's was the only one that was kind of eh for me. I liked all of them. The kite thing was cool. But the whole time I was thinking, god damn, that had to hurt your fingers, gloves or no gloves. It was pretty fun. I don't know if it was more memorable to me than actually it might be. Might be more memorable than this one for me. Huh. Decisions. I do think none of these are A tier for me, I will say. I don't think a singular one of these is A tier. Yeah, that goes top B. Also, going back to this one, I'm gonna put it above Portfest, but in C. If I don't remember an event, I don't feel like it should be in B. You know? I feel like if I don't remember an event, it shouldn't be in B. Now we go into one of the events I was worried wasn't here earlier, but thankfully it showed up. It's the fireworks event with Jamil. And if you're wondering, wait, this takes place in Sunset Savannah? What the fuck am I doing? This takes place in Scalding Sands? Is Kaleem here? He gets sidelined, which I honestly think was a good choice. Here's why. It allows us to see more of Jamil without Jamil having to worry about the professional lens of Kaleem being there, which is where he was at the time this story was released. First of all, these outfits were gorgeous. I sadly don't have Jamil in this set. I do think I have everybody else. I knew if I was going to get any card, it had to be Malleus's because I just loved it. I don't know why, but my mind latched onto it. This event was cute. It also was a little concerning, though, that Jamil put trackers in all of their outfits. I will say, nothing really climactic happened in this event. The only climactic thing that happened was that a thief stole the thumb drive for the fireworks show, but they find out this happened and stop him within like 2 or 3 episodes. It does move it down a little bit. I will say, though, I think I preferred it over Stitch. No, I definitely didn't. Who the fuck am I kidding? I preferred it over the Fairy Gala Part 2, though. But not over Stitch. That's a good placement. Ooh, we get to the first round of Halloween events. Yeah, really quick. I realized in editing that I actually mixed the 2 events up here. So you'll notice the 2 banners are different. The one I'll be talking about first are the events at the pink banner. And then the ones I talk about second are the ones on the dark blue banner. But I mixed them up in putting them in the tier list. So, I not that great of an editor. Not even gonna lie to you guys. I can't fix this in post. Sorry for being so... do everything myself and do my best effort with the little knowledge I have. But, I'm gonna need you guys to just keep that in mind. And remember to switch their locations on the tier list when I show it at the end. And while I'm talking about them. This is completely my bad. Didn't catch it fast enough in the video. And I only caught it after getting it here. My thoughts and feelings that I say are still true. I just mixed up the banners, and that's wholeheartedly on me. Anyway, back to the tier list. Sorry. Which these do not have songs, sadly. But what really carries both of these events is that all of the dorms have themed outfits, and everybody got them. They're not the same rarity of card, but everybody got these outfits. So what's really gonna differentiate these two is the story in which they took place, which this one, I think it was fun, but it was kind of meh for me. But I do prefer it over Beanfest because of the outfits, so it goes more towards the bottom of A. I'm actually wondering, should this go in B? No, I don't feel that meh about it. I definitely prefer this over this one, though. But for this one, it was the premise of this one. It was that they were setting up for Halloween around the school. That's a public event. They got to work on, like, it's a popularity contest between dorms or something. There's, like, a parade at the end. And the biggest climactic thing for this one was that people were being assholes. Yep, that's the big theme of that one. How do we get the asshole customers to go the fuck away? And I thought that premise was fun, but also, like, almost basic at the same time. Like, it was, the way they approached it was fun, but the thing itself was kind of basic. And the other thing I remember about this event is that the Insomnia used the ramshackle dorm as their hotspot without asking the prefect first. They got permission from Crowley, but they didn't ask the prefect, who, if you don't know, is living there. So that just felt a little icky, but in the end, they got, like, their dorm redone for the holidays, and, you know, why not get that shit done for free? For part 2, the premise for this one was a little bit different. This one was, they're cleaning up the events of the first part. Everyone goes to bed, and suddenly, time literally stops. Malleus, Lilia, and the prefect are missing. And everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? Did we all get up stupidly early enough to notice time stopped? And then we discover here, Rook has the ability to tell how long his body has slept for, and no, they all got a healthy amount of sleep. It's time that's being weird. And so they somehow figure out, oh, it's because they left a note on the door of Ramshackle Dorm because Ace went to go check on Prefect because he was worried about them, which I think was almost the start of Ace U, ? Could have been something else. But, you know, they find the note and it basically says, we're in this place, come find your friends. And, you know, everyone's like, okay, we're in crisis mode. So they somehow get to the kind of the underworld, but not like the Styx underworld, like kind of where the ghosts reside. And it's this whole fun little place of like a whole bunch of different dimensions that everyone's going through. It's kind of their own Alice in Wonderland trip journey, and it's really cool. But what's also really funny about this event is that some of the characters got possessed by ghosts who acted the opposite of their own characters, and that was hilarious because some of the characters who didn't get possessed did not let these fuckers live it down. And then in the end, it turns out it was all an escape room set up by Malleus, Lilia, and the ghosts, and they were like, do you want to be in on this bit? And they were like, yes. and it ends with a dance party. And honestly, this event was such a fun ride. I do think talking about it now, I'm gonna put it above Stitch. I think it goes above Stitch for me. It doesn't go above these three, but it goes above Stitch. This event I did record and edit, actually. And this one honestly felt like a history trip of Disney's animation. I do think the premise of this event was made around Disney's, like, what was it, their 100th anniversary? You know when that Grimm card dropped with the Mickey Mouse thing on it, like the start of the Platinum Jacket birthday set in Twist? I think that's what this event was also meant to honor, while also going over Vill's story, and I think they did a very good job of doing both without disrespecting one or the other, and I think it was a good event. The cards were pretty, I will say. I was not a fan of Vill's fit until, like, after they gave him the cape, because I always felt like Vill's outfit compared to everybody else's without that cape at the end, or like that, you know, that thing, it was lacking something, and then they put that on. I'm like, that's it, that's what it was lacking. And I was so glad they didn't go with the tiara, because that tiara with nothing else but the suit would have not looked good, and I'm so glad they didn't go that direction. The thing is about the actual story itself, I wasn't that interested, and it also showed me something about Vill that just kind of gave the ick for me too, with the whole him kind of forcing Apple into a certain image. Not entirely, but like he would deny what Apple's actual favorite food was, and that just sort of made me realize if he's comfortable in talking about it like that in front of these three, what else is going on with Apple over there? And I sort of understood Apple's crash out in book 5 a little bit more. I do think it's gonna go below Ghost Bride. I think that's a fair spot for it. It was a fun event, make no mistake, but there was discovering some things about Vill's character gave me the ick, and we didn't get the complete outfit for Vill until like the last episode or two, and that made me sad. What's next? Playful Land. Ooh, the first time I drew a thumbnail for this one. This event was fun. I fucking loved Ernesto and Goodell. Or Gino. I don't know what his name is. The thing is with names, with some characters, like, depending on your translation, it changes. And I have never seen the original Japanese characters for his name, so I don't know which one it is. I love how this event ended. Oh my god, I loved it. It was so fun. The question is, does it go above any of the top 3? I'm not sure. This is a tough one. It definitely doesn't beat Noble College for me. It wasn't as life-changing. It definitely lived up to the standard of Halloween events Noble College set, I will say. It lived up to that standard, but I don't know if personally... Okay, I think I figured out where I want to put this event. It's gonna go between White Rabbit and the Pom Pom event. That was such a fun event. The side characters again here for this one that got playables, also very fun. Their dynamic was funny. The way everything just sort of came together, it was beautiful. The way their ending is sort of up in the air of whether they kind of drowned at sea or went off to do their own thing. I love how it's like ambiguous, I think is the word I'm looking for. It was wonderful. It was great. I love this event. I don't think I love it more than White Rabbit. That brought me a decent amount of joy. Ooh, is it better than White Rabbit? Now I'm stuck in this debate. Oh no! Yeah, actually, shit, I think it is. I think it's better than White Rabbit. Yeah, that's better than White Rabbit for me. By the way, someone still owes me a fan art of Leona, Jack, and Kaleem on the carousel. I don't know if you're watching this, but if you have done it, can you please, like, post it so I can put you on blast and so everyone can see your wonderful creation like I would want to? That would be great. Can you please do that? Thank you. Thank you. Sunset Savannah, or what was it? Bead Brawl? Bead Brawl is the word I'm looking for. Where does it land, though? In A tier for sure, but where? I think between the first Halloween Part 2 and Stitch. Yeah. It's better than Stitch for me. I love the outfits for this one. They're all beautiful. The yellow for Bill was kind of surprising. I low-key wish they gave him purple instead, but he still rocks the yellow. But all of these events were cool. And then Deuce's card for this, which is not related to the story at all. Deuce's card for this was gorgeous. I loved it. I have it. I got it in 20. That's also a video, by the way. Almost everything about this event I loved. What was the one thing I didn't... No. There was really nothing I didn't... Oh, the only thing I didn't like about this event was kind of the same thing as what happened in Portfest with the Twisted Tune, was the sound effects. I did record edit this one. If you don't know, it's in there. But the sound effects for that one are car revs, which don't really fit the music that's being played and don't complement very well. It complements the visual of the Twisted tune, not the actual song though. And I think that's just a struggle with some Twisted tunes, is that they need to balance matching the visual but still making sure it sounds good, which I do think is a point I made earlier, but whatever. Otherwise, yeah, this is a solid spot for the Sunset Savannah. Now we're in Vargas Camp. This one was heavy on battle maps, both of them, because they're kind of both the same thing, but they're different, and I'll get to how they're different. But like almost the entirety first half for both of these events are the same. And it's very battle map heavy, not like the book 7 Lilia battle map. That's a different kind of hell. This is the one I was talking about with, oh my god, which event? Which event was it? I think it was Lilo and Stitch. I know that event was like that. These two are very that heavy, even more so than Stitch. And I just did not have fun doing that. Like, it was miserable sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, because I'm pretty sure along with that, there were the mission boards on top of it. And I was just like in hell. But what I kind of mean, I guess it wasn't the first half that were the same. It's more of the first 3/4 that are the same. But the first 3/4 are Vargas, which is what this is. This is just saying Vargas and then camp. Basically, Vargas takes them based off of clubs. This one's sports clubs. This one's all of the other clubs. You have to do 3 days here with certain challenges and tasks that test their capabilities, but also help them, you know, camp. And then, like, what was it? Night 2. So, like, the night before they end the next day, Vargas gets in the stupidest costume you've ever seen in your life and starts hunting the students. No one dies, but they all end up, like, tied to trees. And and the imagery was very horrifying because all of their fires go out. And the students just start hearing the screams of other students as Vargas is basically kidnapping them and tying them to trees until the dawn of the next day. And whoever remains has to defeat Vargas, which, if you're wondering, those four are always the ones on the banner because they get the bonus of, like, the gear or whatever. So that's the entirety of the 3/4 of the event. Where it differs, and I'm going through this because I didn't record this one, but where it differs is there's a second boss on both. Vargas is the first, there's a second boss on both. For this one, Deuce is a student who's in this event as a side character, but he does not reappear when all of the students are untied and they're about to go home. So, you know, Prefect, being very worried, runs off to the mines where he was spoken of being seen last, which, by the way, if a kid doesn't come back from the mines within the first hour, why the fuck are you not checking, Vargas? Anyway, so you runs off to the mines, and these four, along with Ace, follow them. And in there, you see a twin they find Deuce, but right after they find Deuce, they see a twin phantom of the one that Ace, Deuce, and the Prefect and Grimm run into in Book 0, and these four kind of have to fight for them with the Magistones that Ruggy was pocketing. And that was their second boss, which honestly, I thought was a great callback, and I think it's a great callback that it wasn't super up there for me, but it's gonna go bottom of A. I do remember seeing that and going, wow, they called back to that? That's awesome! And then it also ends with no one believing them that they fought that phantom and that Deuce was just fucking off somewhere, and I was like, Deuce probably looks starved, because I'm pretty sure Deuce was also missing for at least a day and a half, if not 2 days straight. So, and keep in mind, they found him stuck under a cauldron that he made. So he was hiding for 2 days straight. Somehow didn't die from this phantom that's hunting him. And everyone's like, oh no, there's no way that happened. What the fuck? The school wouldn't do that, you know, because Crowley knows to have been that responsible in the past, but whatever. The second boss for this one was more planned out on the school's part, and I appreciate that. What happens is, they're all catching up with, like, the Prefect and Vargas, and the Prefect is in on the Vargas part for this one now, because they were there for the first one. Vargas knows they're not going to get them twice. So they have the Prefect be a part of it this time. And what happens here is, the second boss that the Prefect doesn't know about kidnaps both Vargas and the Prefect and Grimm. And if you're wondering how that happens, it's because Vil had to use their unique magic on Vargas to make it so he can't move, and Vil goes, oh shit, I didn't take the spell off of him, he can't move, they're in legit danger. They're not. by the way. Who that second boss ends up being is Professor Cruel in a not that bad of an outfit, but it could have been better because it was designed by Vargas, you know, who's not a fashion expert. But basically, they get kidnapped, and they have to fill in you and Grimm while they're in the cave where they took them. So they're like, hey, we needed you to be genuinely surprised for that part, but now you're in the loop. You know, when those four get here, they're gonna fight Professor Cruel. So just try and act like not nonchalant. It ends with them beating Cruel. No one gets lost. No one's stuck in the mines. Everybody is actually okay this time. And I think that despite all of the fun things the story has, the battle maps really move both versions of Vargas Camp down for me. This one, just because it didn't have that story callback, I'm gonna put it at the top of B. Sorry, Vargas Camp, but not really. Sunderland! We're actually almost done. Oh my god. Sunderland! Ooh, these were all cute, but they're all also kind of the same. But different perspectives. It was, well, a nice theory I liked for what the Sooms were was sort of the true, unhinged, like, you know, if they could be their natural selves, that is what the Sooms were doing. And I honestly agree with this theory. And that it was just so fun to see. I'm gonna say that while I do love these events and their cards, I am gonna say I'm gonna put them above the second part of Beanfest, but no higher. And I know they're kind of like stacked in a weird way, but I want you to imagine all three are lined up the same. Like they're all in, oh sorry, let me scroll up. They're all here for reference. I want you to imagine they're all lined up in the same spot. And that's where I need you to be at with me here. I know that's a trip, but hang in there. This event, this is the stargazing event. This is a deuce I regret not having, and I've missed him on both opportunities to get him, and my heart shattered both times. This event, one of my favorites. The story premise for this one, because I did not record and edit this one, is basically every year there's a thing called, I don't know, stargazing, star something. It's kind of a Pinocchio event. There are these people called, oh no, I think they're like star collectors, wish collectors or something. And they basically have to go around and get all of the school's wishes and then also perform a number to send them off to be granted, if they do get granted. And Deuce, Trey, and Idia were the ones selected for this event. Ortho is here because Idia builds the gear for him. And what I really liked about this event, it was a very good timing to put this event. It was, I'm pretty sure, either the first or the second event that happened in this game. Again, minus book celebration and birthdays. This was good timing because it gave us an insight to every single character. Every single character. We got to know their wishes, or that they would mask their wishes and not be comfortable sharing them in public. I feel like that was such a great way to give us what to expect from these characters and how they can grow, while also having a fun event to go with it, you know? It was such a great early game event. It was cute. I don't think it was mission board, it was Twisted Tune based, but this one, the Twisted Tune and the sound effects were good. The video for the Twisted Tune on that one is a little bit hard to play the Twisted Tune at the same time with because of all of the motion that's happening. This one, it was really cool. I really liked it, and it was such a wonderful early event. The cards were beautiful. I love these fits. My only gripe with this event is that they didn't do another round of it. I feel like this would have been an event to do like years down the line after character growth happened, because they typically base how the characters act at things around of what main story is released at the time the event is being released. So like that's how all of these event character growth things go, which is why this was great for early. And now I kind of want to see one where we're getting towards the end of the year, you know, book 7 and EN is finished. I haven't finished it, but I've seen spoilers enough to know what happens. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. But this one, I just want to see like a callback to it and be like, hey, here's where all these characters stand now with new Star Senders, which I think is what they're called. I think this would be such a good event to revisit. So much so, I'm gonna put it towards the top of it, but not the very top. I think below White Rabbit is where I'm going to put this one. Let's scroll down here. Here, if you don't know, this model was entirely designed for this event. This event was actually so much more fun than I thought it was going to be. First of all, it's the first event where characters from other media were allowed to be brought into the universe and essentially become canon, which is such a fun little concept in your head because that opens up a lot of other things to be canon. And Scully, I've said this in the streams I did for this event, so I streamed this one. You'll see everything for this one. Scully is one of the 2 characters I said I would wail for, and I stand by that. The other character, if you're wondering, is Melanor, aka Malleus's mom, who is never going to be released, and I know that. Scully's was so cool. I will say, he was such a fascinating character to me that once his card was announced on JP and was released, I hunted his card story. I needed to know more about him. And, spoilers, kind of, ish, he is a Night Raven student. You find this out in the main story. I believe somewhere in there it says he's a Pomme Fiore student. Kind of fitting, I'm not gonna lie to you. He paved the road for how Halloween was done in, if I can find it on this messy tier list, in this event. He paved the way for it to be like this. And the event sort of, we go through how the Twist characters see Halloween. Scully's original idea is very not like that. And we sort of see how he likes this idea, grasps onto it, realizes he's from prior to their time when he gets back, and decides to pave the way for it. This event opened this character up to me, and this whole event was just fun. It was Halloween in there. His unique magic is turning people into pumpkins. That's such a silly yet powerful unique magic that brought me so many questions. This event was just so amazing. It was so fun. It does run a bit into the battle map problem that Vargas had. Ran into that a little bit, but the cover for this one was fire. I did a fandom music video on that one. That one I'm pretty proud of. This event was so fun. It is 100% my S tier. And now I run into debate. Is it more meaningful to me than the Masquerade one? And despite my model, I'm actually gonna say it's not. This event means a lot to me. Don't make a mistake. It means a lot to me. This one was like life-changing, I feel like. Not okay, that's a bit of a stretch, not life-changing, but it was an eye-opening experience, and I think what really got me addicted to Twist. Like, that really latched me in to see what it could do. I think that is what this is for me. And then this is a very, very, very close runner-up for me, is the Halloween event. And I kind of wish I had done the other 2 first, because this one, a very fun event. I love the outfits for this one, especially Jade's, who I do have. I have the whole set for this one as well. Very happy. I will say, I do think it spent a little bit too much on sightseeing, and I think it could have benefited a little bit more from focusing on what their goal was, which was prepping to flip the couple over. It did spend a good time on the actual event. I think it spent like a whole book on it, but it spent like the other 3 or 4 books working on sightseeing, and I think that was just a little too much for me. Though another upside to this is I love how Jade got everybody to go with him. That was funny as hell and I loved it. I don't think I fully showed it, but it was funny as hell and I loved it. This event is a solid A. I don't think it's up towards the top 3. It definitely doesn't beat Apple Palm or Rapunzel for me. Do I put this above Halloween Part 2? Is it top, quote unquote top 6, top 8? It's higher than this Halloween event. No, I'm sorry. That's not true. That's not true. I like it. I like it here. I do like it more than... Oh, do I? I don't know. Yeah, it goes here. It goes here. I do like it more than Stitch. That much I know. I'm debating switching these 2. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. Let me do revisits after this last one. This one, my most recent record. Listen, I loved all the cards for this one. I personally was not that big of a fan of the story. I don't know. I felt like, because the thing is with all of these other events, all of the ones that focus on a singular character, kind of not the Camp Vargas ones, but like the Fairy Gala, this one, Rapunzel, which isn't a Homeland event to throw in there, the Halloween ones even, especially these 2, these 3, the Ghost Bride even, they all give us more about the character. I don't think this event did that. In terms of like character, it fell flat, you know? The story itself, it was honestly, It was cute, but at the end of the day, for me, it was honestly like, okay. Only really thing I liked about this event were the character designs and the backgrounds, and you know, the chipmunks being little shits. Honestly, I think that was like it, really. This event otherwise felt very lackluster for me. And I think actually it's gonna join the C tier, but above the Sam's New Year sale, I think is where I'm gonna put that. Yeah, no, it was a very lackluster event for me. After recollection, edited out, I am pretty happy with how this list turned out. This is my EN, kind of, event tier list. There might have been one I missed. I tried to go by memory. You know, we're not including birthdays here. I'm trying to go by memory. I think, yeah. I don't think anything was worth a D, in all honesty. I did leave this here on purpose. I don't think any of these events are worth a D. All of them have their own charm. They all do. So I'm very surprised about how many of these ended up in A tier. But, you know, and I'm looking at Vargas Camp here again. I didn't recollect enough, apparently. No, that stays up there. That one hits different. That one stays up there. Yeah, that is my event tier list. I'll scroll down again slowly. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope if you don't agree with me, let me know what you think should have been higher or lower. Like, I'm genuinely curious, you guys. I'm not trying to invalidate you. You're valid for your opinions. I just want to know the reasoning. That's the most curious part about an opinion for me, is your reasoning. That's the other thing I wanted to bring up. If it's an event I haven't, like, streamed, recorded, and edited on YouTube, and you guys want to see me sort of relive it or reread it, we can do that. Like, if you want to see a fairy gala, if you want to see... I think I did record Edit Apple Palm, I don't remember. If you wanted to see Fairy Gala, if you wanted to see how, sure, we can do these too. Let's do the Halloween ones. Let's do the first Halloween ones. Let's do those. If you want to see the story for Zoom, I have it. If you want to see Beanfest, if you want to see Camp Vargas, I can do that for you guys. I am absolutely game to do that, especially since I desperately need stream ideas. That's not just me spamming Limbus Company and maybe some HSR stuff there. If we want to relive a story, I'm game. Let's do that, guys. If you're curious about how Tom one of these friends want to see it, let me know. We can probably bring it back. Let's stream it, make a video of it. Let's do it. Let's make it accessible for everybody. If you want to see Portfest, we can... Oh no, I've recorded and edited Portfest. We don't need to do that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Hopefully I actually remembered to get a video out this time. Bye bye!